Something fascinating started happening in 2023. While most agencies and service providers were struggling with longer sales cycles and decreased margins, there was a smaller group of agencies, consultants, and experts that were actually doing something entirely different. They actually doubled their revenue. And here's the weird part. They actually did it while working a whole lot less and with a whole lot less overwhelm in their business. Now, you're probably thinking that maybe they just got lucky or they had some special advantage that you didn't have. And honestly, that's probably what I would have thought too. But when I dug deeper into the data from the 800 members that we work with, I noticed something a little strange. The owners that were making the most money consistently broke 3 rules that every other service business and agency that I've ever come across follows. And in fact, they did the exact opposite of what most experts and agency coaches and agency gurus even teach. For example, we've had some of our members delete service offerings off of their website and then double their revenue. Another one of our clients actually removed herself from the client delivery calls that she used to have with each and every client, and she actually increased her profit margin by 10%. So today I'm going to show you exactly what these owners figured out and the simple system that you can use to do the same thing this year. And if I'm honest with you, if I had to get started from scratch again, this is the exact same process I would follow to get back to $1 million a year in a service-based business. But first, I want to let you know that the system that I'm about to share, the process that we're about to dive into, this is not theory. This is the same process that I've followed in my own business and the exact same process that we've now taken 800 other agencies and service providers through. Now, in the rest of this video, I'm going to break down why working more hours is actually killing your growth, the counterintuitive way to actually 3 times your profit margins, and again, the exact same system that I'd use to build a $1 million service business that has a ton of profit while working a 4-day work week. So let's hop in the office and we'll dive in. All right, so this first phase is what I call the foundation. All right, so we're going to be talking about this foundational phase, and it's where we're going to look at our business through the lens of 3 different currencies. And I'm going to show you how these 3 currencies, when you look at your business through them and through a specific order, is what's going to unlock the type of business that you actually want to have versus, a business that you just end up having by default. We want to design our dream business. So most owners, when they look at these 3 currencies, which are time, energy, and money, they look at money first, and then they try to force their life to fit around that. And that's exactly how you end up burnt out and honestly miserable. So let's show you how to look at this kind of in a better way. So currency number 1 is your time, which really just means your schedule. So first we want to look at your ideal schedule, not the schedule that you think your clients are going to allow, what you actually want, right? So ask yourself, what time do you want to start your day? Which days do you want completely free? How many hours do you actually want to work each day? I personally wanted Fridays off. We have clients that wanted to end at 3 p.m. We have clients that wanted to take Wednesdays off and work 9 to 4 or what have you. So your schedule needs to serve your life and not drain it. So we need to look at what days of the week, what hours am I working? How does this schedule play out daily, weekly, monthly, and even quarterly? The second currency is energy. And so this is really crucial because where do you want to spend that energy when you're in those working hours, right? Because I think most people focus on time management, and what we really need to focus on is energy management. So what activities light you up? What activities drain you? What do you feel like is your true zone of genius? Now, you probably are doing a bunch of things that drain you right now and things that light you up. And over time, we're going to need to have a plan to shift to spending more of your time on the things that light you up. So when we look at where do you want to spend your time? For me, that's content creation. That's creating videos like this. That's packaging and creating training for our clients. It's doing live training with our clients or being on a retreat with my clients. That's where I get lit up, and that's where I come alive in my zone of genius. So there's clearly things that I don't like doing, like admin and or some of the scheduling of the content, obviously the editing of the content. And so when I'm looking at what is Greg's role inside of the business, and I kind of focus on all the things that give me energy, I also come up with a list of all the things that drain me that are not going to be my role, which really starts to help me identify who I need on my team and around me to support me. Most service providers spend 80% of their energy on things that they hate, and they they wonder why that they're exhausted. One of our clients, they fell in love with strategy and they realized that even though they're good at implementation, they don't get a lot of energy from it. And so when they spend too much time on implementation, they actually start to resent the business. So now they know what sort of implementation help they need so that they can spend more time on strategy. That's just one realization that has completely transformed many of our clients' businesses. So we have time, we've designed around our ideal schedule. We know what hours we want to work. We know when we're working, ideally what we are building towards, like how we're going to be spending that time. And now 3 is income. Only now, after you're clear on your ideal schedule and your energy, do we look at, the income that you're trying to create. So we're not looking for necessarily a revenue ceiling or your income ceiling here. We're actually looking for the income floor, meaning if you got to work your dream schedule and only spend time in your zone of genius, what is the minimum amount that you'd want to make every single month that would make all of this work worthwhile? I see that so many people, they look at the income and they're not making enough to make all of this work even worth it. Like they would have made more still at their job. So for most of our clients, they want to, on the low side, have an income of 150 to 200K a year, after taxes. But here's what's fascinating. When you build around your ideal schedule and then your energy, you usually end up making way more than the minimum, right? So we want to look at the floor. That doesn't mean we can't make more, but we got to know that we're in it for a certain amount of payoff. Here's the truth. If you compromise your schedule and your energy just for money, you will end up like every other stressed out, unfulfilled business owner wondering why success feels so empty. So let me show you how to turn these numbers, these currencies into the real business. So now we're going to look at the next phase, which is productization. Now, here's where most service providers get productization completely wrong. They just bundle their deliverables and they call it a package, and they think that that means they're selling a product. So I want to show you the difference between a real world example. So I'll take one of the clients that we've worked with. It's a marketing agency. Here's how they used to present their service. So before, it was the monthly marketing package, right? It included things like social media management, email marketing, content creation, monthly reporting, and they got 2 strategy calls per month. Maybe that sounds familiar, but here's the problem. Clients don't actually want any of those things. They want what those things will do for them, right? So they don't want social media management, email marketing, and all of that. They want what all of these things will give them, what the outcome will be if they actually do those things. So when we work with our clients, here's an example of what the after might look like for that client. This might be the predictable pipeline system. See, now it's a product, right? It's not a package. And the outcome of that package is to fill your pipeline every month without spending hours on content creation or social media, okay? Now look, you might actually still do social media management, content creation, you're doing it for them, which ends up filling their pipeline, which is what they really want, right? So they don't care how you fill their pipeline as long as you fill their pipeline. Now, the whole angle of, without spending hours on content creation, that's just leaning into what is this thing that they, the reason why they're not doing it. Why are they not filling their pipeline? Oh, content creation is hard. I don't want to be on social media, or I don't know how to be on social media. And so they end up not doing it. So the problem is we want to move away from just the things that we do and transform it into the outcome that they're going to get. Same deliverables, completely different positioning. Instead of selling the how they're going to do it, we're going to sell the what the actual outcome is that the clients want and that they're going to get. And here's what happens when you do something like that. Our clients who have done this kind of shift from package to productization, they've been able to raise their price from say 3K to 10K per month. Clients stopped haggling over deliverables because you're not selling deliverables, you're selling an outcome. Sales conversations actually got shorter because you're getting straight to the point of what they want. And results actually improved because clients were more aligned and better aligned with the thing that they were really coming to you for, the outcome. And so that becomes your core service, right? In the productization phase, I believe the goal is to take that offer, in this case, the predictable pipeline system, and get that to producing somewhere between 25 and 30K a month for your business before moving on to the next phase. So you want to kind of get some stability. You want to, get that offer to say 25 to 30K a month, where you see like for at least 3 months in a row, you're doing that, and you're going to feel confident to move into the next phase, which the next phase is IP building. Now, this is where a lot of the magic starts to happen. And this is where I think things get really interesting. So once you have your core solution dialed in, again, it's doing 25 to 30K per month, you're going to take that exact same system and you're going to transform it into more of a done with you offer. And so let's
talk about how that works. So let's say your done for you solution, the predictable pipeline system that we just talked about, say you sell that for $15K and you're helping clients get their pipeline filled with their ideal prospects each and every month. And you're the one doing all of that implementation work. That's great. But there is a whole market rather of people who they can't afford that solution. So if you're charging $50K, they probably can't afford $15K. There's also people in your market that look like your ideal prospect, but they already have teams in-house that can maybe handle some of that, the done for you, handle some of the implementation, meaning they need more of the strategy, they need the system, the roadmap, more than they need the actual labor hours of you doing it. So here's how that math could play out on your path to $1 million. So your starting point, again, is the core solution is now getting you to $30K a month, right? So $30K a month at 12 months, that's $360 annual from that predictable pipeline system that we were talking about, which is really just 2 core solution sales per month, right? So you have an offer that's $15K, you sell 2 of those a month, that's the $30K a month, and you can do 2 a month every single month for 12 months, that's $360K annually earned, which means we have a $640,000 gap. This is where, with the IP, we create a training program. You can call it a high ticket program, you can call it a consulting program, you can call it training, you can call it coaching, you can call it whatever you want. But fundamentally, it is you walking them through your system, showing them how, giving them the templates, giving them the resources, and doing it with them. Because you're giving them the resources, it's more done with you. They're going to have to, put in the sweat to kind of connect some of these things to some degree, and they're going to have to follow your playbook and your guide to execute, right? So let's say we charge $5K for that. I think that that's being conservative. Again, once you get the reps in and clients are getting results, it could be $5K. Maybe you do a pilot for less than that, but you can probably charge around $5K for this. This is what our first kind of done with you offer was. So if we have $5K, we need to sell 128 units annually, which is about 11 clients per month, or 2.5 clients per week. So now you might be thinking 11 clients a month. That sounds like a lot, Greg. But remember, your sales conversations actually have gotten easier because the price point is more affordable. You're not doing really any of the implementation. You've done a lot of that work already for your done for you clients, and you're handing over a lot of the resources. The delivery is more scalable because you can actually now work with these clients in more of a leveraged small group to one-to-many format. And you can, again, because of that, serve multiple clients at once. So in fact, many of our clients will take this training offer and they'll put it into like a 90-day roadmap or a 6-month roadmap. Some do cohorts. So let's say you have 128 members at $5,000 each. That makes up the 640 additional. So between the 640 with the 128 members, we'll call the members of the training offer, that plus your $360K from your done for you clients, you're at $1 million a year. But here's what's really fascinating. We often see clients sell this program into 2 different types of buyers. I mentioned earlier, like there's the people who, can't afford the $15K for that offer. So the first group is people that can't afford your done for you service. We had people that wanted our webinar funnels, but they didn't really have the budget to do that. But they're like, hey, I'm willing to do the work. So there's the people that are not going to be able to afford it. But then there's the people that either have resources or are willing to be the resource of implementation. So this is where I actually see larger companies where they have teams that can do the implementation, maybe like junior marketing staff, but they don't know what to point them towards. So they actually need your roadmap. They need that done with you offer. They might not be interested in giving you money for done for you because they're sitting there saying, well, I already have the people to do it. They just don't know what to do. And so that's a different market. So you're going to see that once you have, let me draw this for you. Once you have your ideal prospect, right, in your market, there's going to be the people down here that can't afford it, right? But then there's also going to be the people up here that they already have a team of people to do the work. So they don't need you to do it. They don't want you to do it. They need the roadmap. They need to know what to do. So they need your brain. They need your guidance. They need you to show their team what they need to implement. Now, personally, like I said, I was selling a $15,000 webinar funnel implementation build. When we added the 5K consulting program, we were shocked that a lot of the companies, they actually were more established. Like they were ready for webinars. Like they could have afforded the 15K, but they didn't want to spend that because they had someone in-house to build it. So they spent 5K and they got into the program, right? So if your ideal client has labor inside to do some of the things that you might be doing, if you had a consultative offer, a done with you offer, you will get some of those deals across the line because they need the guidance for what their team should be doing. So this brings us to the expansion phase. This is really exciting. This is where you get to monetize all the tools, the templates, and the systems that you've built. But here's where most of the people get this wrong. They think that low ticket means beginner content. So let me show you how our most successful clients, and even in our business, we approach this a little bit differently. Instead of creating beginner products, they take pieces of their premium solution and they turn them into standalone products. So here's how this works. Let's say, again, you do that 15,000 done for you solution. You have the 5K training program. Now you create targeted projects, maybe workshops. We like $100 workshops that solve a very specific problem. That's what you would focus on. Here's what's really interesting. These products actually can attract a higher level buyer. And let me show you why. In our business, a big piece of what we do is offer development. We have agencies that come to us that they're doing, $500,000 to $1 million. And they're like, hey, we're good on the service side. We just don't know how to design this offer suite. And they aren't ready to hop in with us just yet because they don't have the clarity on what the offer might look like. So here comes our $100 offer workshop that we've held multiple times. So we do the $100 workshop. Hey, why don't you hop into that? You'll get the clarity on what your offer suite should look like so that you now then can see and be confident and feel good about what that direction looks like. But now you can now work with us on executing that faster. So we've had a lot of people that literally the objection was, well, I'm not really sure what I would productize or whatnot. They go through our offer workshop and they realize, oh, now I get it. And that unlocks their readiness to hop into our program. And so we've had out of, one of our workshops, we had about 30 people that attended and we had 7 people upgrade into our next level program to work with us. We've done one where there was 25 and 6 or so people hopped in. So again, not everyone's going to upgrade. Some people just need that $100 solution and they're still not going to be ready. But some people just need a way to get a taste and experience and kind of see for themselves if you're truly the expert that they think you are from the content that you're creating. These more affordable options, these workshops, these sub $1,000 products, these work really well because some buyers just really wanted to test drive your expertise. They wanted to solve a very specific problem. And maybe your core thing felt too big and too much work. They just needed something small. And so if you can unpack the right things, you can get people into your world for a much affordable rate so they can see how great you are and where else they can go with you. Lastly, sometimes they just need to experience your methodology and approach. So think about it. If someone's considering investing 20K with you, do you feel like they would spend maybe 500 to sample it first? Especially if maybe they've been burned before. And in this current market where, some people call it a trust recession, for someone to be able to come in and get a result for an affordable rate to then be convinced that you are the go-to guy or gal, that isn't a way to get new people in your world, is just to show them that there is a way, give them a little bit of a taste. So back to the math. Our core solution does $360 annually. Our training program does $640 annually. These digital products, let's just say we're focused on $100 workshops. Let's say we sell 300 of those across the year. We're at a $1.3 million a year business. But the real magic isn't just the revenue. These products, they help us pre-qualify buyers for the higher level things. It creates goodwill with our audience. All of this stuff is content that is now cash flowing for us. And we actually, instead of just generating leads, we can generate customers. Now, generating customers is especially important when you're trying to scale your business by using paid traffic, because paid traffic can be expensive. So cold traffic to a high ticket product can be expensive. You can get, $1,000 to $3,000 cost to acquire a client. Cold traffic to lower ticket can be more affordable if you're driving a bunch of $20 to $50 sales and you're able to break even on that. So we want to be able to figure out how can we acquire buyers instead of just leads, and anything that we sell them on the backside of that first sale is going to be more profitable. Now, there's something that's critical that's happening alongside each of these phases. So we've talked about the foundation phase, the productization phase, the IP building phase, and the expansion phase. Now, there's one thing that we got to keep in mind. As you're going through this whole multi-step journey, we need to think about, what does our marketing look like along the way? And so that's what I want to talk about right now, because a lot of what we just talked about so far has been how I would design my product suite, what I'm selling, and the price points. But you obviously have to be getting new customers and buyers each and every month. Now, there's something critical happening alongside each of these phases that I need to show you. And it explains why we start with our high ticket premium services instead of low ticket. So like I said, each of these phases, we have foundation, productization, IP building, and expansion. But along that, we're marketing, right? If you're like most service providers, when when you're just getting started down here, you probably don't have a large audience. And so you selling 5 $25 products or 5 $100 workshops isn't going to like help move the needle for you inside of your business. This is why we talk about you have to build down. When we look at that predictable pipeline system that we've productized, we launch the done with you, and then we come downstream and we launch products. Okay. So we start at the top, then we move one step down the ladder and one step down the ladder. So this is where we build down to scale up. All right. So in phase one, your marketing needs to be really focused, like one primary social platform, your direct outreach to your ideal clients, simple content showing your expertise, small but highly qualified audience. All right. Again, you don't need thousands of followers to land that $15,000 deal or a $10,000 deal, right? You need the right 100 people seeing your content to start getting a couple clients a month. In phase two, in productization, as your core service is getting dialed in and your marketing is stepping up, we want to get a long form piece of content into place. This is like YouTube. A lot of our clients have been jumping into YouTube, a handful of videos, and they're getting their ideal prospects coming into their world. This is where email list building really starts to take hold because people are going to be reaching out to your email saying, hey, I'm ready. And we want to focus on case studies and results. This is what we call the content flywheel. You have short form content that drives awareness. You have long form content that builds trust. And then you have email nurture that is kind of nurturing those relationships. And all three really work together to kind of convert, leads into prospects and prospects into clients. Now, here's again where this gets interesting. When you get to that IP building phase, now your marketing is starting to reach more people. We've expanded our social presence. Maybe our email list is growing a lot faster. We start using paid traffic in this phase. And this is where we start to sell a lot more of the done with you stuff, right? And so again, because it's easier to fulfill, we can actually take, 3, 5, 10 of those a month in addition to the 2 clients that we're serving inside of our core solution that we talked about earlier that we've been charging a premium for. So let's go back to the math. For your $15K service, you need 1 to 2 clients a month to get to $15 to $30K a month. With your $5,000 done with you program, you need 12 clients per month. And as you're going, your marketing and sales efforts are starting to scale accordingly. Now at phase 4, this is again expansion, but this time you're gonna have a much larger audience. This isn't happening like each phase isn't just like a month. We're talking like you're probably 18 to 24 months in. You have presence on multiple social platforms. You've been really consistent with your content. Your email list is growing. You're starting to get confident with your paid ads. And you now have people reaching out to you each and every day that are interested in one of your offerings, right? The beauty of this progression is that by the time you're selling the lower priced products and offerings, you have an audience to sell it to. You've already proven your expertise. You have case studies and testimonials, and your content system is really starting to have that flywheel approach. It's getting dialed in. And so this is really the opposite of how most people are trying to do it. They're trying to, with no audience, sell a bunch of low ticket stuff. And they're like, sweet, I've sold 3 people at $50 and I still have to pay my mortgage. So I really want to emphasize the build down to scale up approach. So now that you've seen kind of my exact roadmap, we have foundation, we have productization, we have IP building, and then we have expansion. You follow that path and you're going to start to have a business that is by design, not by default. I want you to imagine taking Fridays off, having coffee with your spouse, actually being present for your family, all while your business is running smoothly without you being trapped in the delivery because most of your income is coming from those leveraged delivery vehicles. Whether you want to take a 2-week vacation or just more consistently pick your kiddos up from school each and every day by 3, this model will help you get there. So if you're ready to implement this in your business, we put together all of our frameworks, our systems, playbooks into what we call the collective. It is our flagship program. You'll get this exact same roadmap with live consulting calls, a community, and myself and the team to support you as you implement it. So I dropped a link in the description for you to check out that and potentially enroll to work with us to accelerate your process, accelerate your results moving through each of these phases and building a business that you love. And if you found this valuable and you just want some more details around this whole multi-revenue stream model, then go ahead and check out this video.